Hello, everyone. I am Professor Champy. Welcome to English composition in our strange new classroom. Um, Obviously, we're doing things a little bit different this semester. So I want to take some time in this video just to try to explain how I'm going to run the course and also introduce myself a little bit and maybe say just a couple of things about the class itself and some of the stuff that we're going to be doing. All right, so first of all, I'm sure you're wondering if we're not actually meeting, how are we going to have our classes, right? So, the way that we're going to be doing this, the way that I'm going to kind of gauge everyone's participation, which we'll talk about the grades in a little bit, but participation is one of the categories that I'm grading you on. So the way that you're going to like show up to class to participate is going to be by watching these videos. Uh, every week I'll probably have at least one of these videos. Probably sometimes it'll be two or three. And also the discussion boards. They're up there. I think it calls them like a forum on Moodle, but I always have them labeled discussion, and then it'll have a title for what the discussion's about. So you'll click on that, and it'll give you some questions, usually either about a reading that we did or just about something in general. And you will respond to the discussion threads, and I'm also requiring that you respond to another person. I have the due dates on there and everything for when you have to have your responses up. But these discussion threads are going to kind of be like the usual discussions that I would have in class, right? So much of teaching, for me, I try to do a lot of discussion. I don't like to, lecture for extended periods of time myself. So I'll try to keep these videos relatively short when I can. I know it can be hard to watch a video that's, 15 minutes or longer or something like that, so I'll try to keep them pretty short. But yeah, you're going to do these discussion threads, you're going to watch the videos, and that's going to be like you showing up to class. So I'm going to calculate participation based on you posting in the discussion threads, responding to other people. I'm also going to be posting the discussion threads, so I'll be responding to a lot of the things in there, not all of them, but many of them. So, that'll be our kind of like interactive space. Where I can see what some of your ideas are and kind of offer suggestions, or we'll disagree with each other sometimes, which is fine. Some other things I wanted to say about the discussion boards. These can be very informal, right? They're supposed to be like the in-class conversations. So I'm not worried about the grammar in them. I'm not grading them on spelling or anything like that. You can feel free to write, casually or informally. In terms of abbreviations or, however you write online. It's fine to disagree, like I said. A lot of these classes are, a lot of college is about kind of having arguments back and forth and getting all different perspectives. So I'm totally fine with that. Don't be afraid to say that you disagree with somebody else, just explain why. And then the last thing I would say on this is just remember, it's easy sometimes when we're online to like maybe say something more rude than we would in real life because we have the internet mediating it, and so much of our time online is making sometimes mean jokes and things like that. So make sure that you're still like respectful, and use appropriate language and all that. But like I said, these can be very casual, no big deal. So yeah, I just want to get a sense of ideas there. That's going to be like our class meetings. So that's going to be like the showing up to class portion. Discussion boards, these videos. Very good. Other things I want to talk about here. For every week, I'll be posting an overview, I'm calling it, for that week. That'll have like, so at the top of your Moodle page, right under like the dates for the week, it should give you some bullet points of all the things I need you to do for that week. So every Monday, I'll be posting the work for the next week, right? Except for this time where it's Wednesday, since that's when the course starts. So all the stuff that I'll be posting up there will be for Wednesday to Friday, and then by Monday morning, I'll have the things up for week 2. So it has the dates on there. I'm considering the weeks going from Monday to Friday. So like Monday will come, you'll go on, you'll see all the discussions, the readings, whatever I want you to do that week, the assignments, the homework, all that. Homework will usually be due on the following Monday. but not always, but most of the time. I think that's when your homework's due this time. It's not due until the next Monday. But yeah, for every week, when you open it up, right at the top of it, it'll have a bullet pointed list saying like week 1 instructions, week 2 instructions, and I'm just gonna, I'm gonna try to be very clear, as straightforward as I can about like what the things that I want you to do each week are. Obviously, if it's confusing, if any of this is confusing and you're worried about it, you can of course send me an email, and I will get back to you. Another thing I want to talk about is the syllabus. I think I have a picture of it that hopefully can be on the screen now. So the two main things that I want to talk about with the syllabus here, obviously you're free to read through the whole thing yourself, and that just has, all the basic requirements and stuff. The first thing I want to mention though is that there's no book for the class. I'm not requiring you to buy any book. I've believed for a while now that the college textbook industry is a pretty big scam. So I don't like to have people buy books. So what I'm going to be doing instead is I'm going to be posting all of the readings to Moodle. They'll be up there as like PDF documents or whatever. You can open them, you can download them. Some of them are scans, like from books that I have, that are like, not always the best quality. So sometimes you might need to zoom in or zoom out, or just make it more like user friendly. But you don't need to buy any book. So I have everything that I'll be posting there, all the readings. The other thing is the grading. So I have a few different categories for grading here with the percentage listed next to them. I just want to say a little bit about each of them. So journals, this is our homework. I'm calling all the homework journals. You have a couple of these for homework tonight, homework that's due next week. These are going to be, usually they'll be responses to readings. I'll give you some kind of essay or something like that to read for homework, and I'll give you some questions about it. Or it'll be maybe just like a more general kind of writing assignment. Like you'll see the one for this time is an introduction where I'm just asking you some kind of questions about yourself and your experiences with writing. This kind of lets me just get a sense of like where everybody's coming from as it relates to writing and our past feelings about it. So yeah, journals, 15% of the grade. We also have process writing, 15%. So this gets into an idea we're going to talk about a lot this semester, the writing process. So the things that are going to be in this category are things like drafts of essays, and also a midterm and final that we're going to do. Don't worry too much about those. They're going to be like kind of reflecting on the course and ourselves and our writing and stuff like that. Nothing too serious. But that's going to be under process writing. It's also 15%. Participation, 15%. So I already talked about that, right? That's going to be posting in the discussion boards mostly, making your own posts and also replying to other people. And then we have small writing assignments. That's 10%. These are going to be not like really essays. These are going to be more just like kind of extended writing exercises. They're going to be like 1 to 2 pages long. They'll be easy. It's just going to be a way for us to try out some different ways of writing that are related to composition and stuff. So that's going to be 10%. And then we're doing 3 main essays, and they all are worth a different percentage, going up to 20% for the last one. So those are going to be, obviously, I'll have a lot of specific information on those. They're all going to be a little bit different, but they're going to be essays. Some of them are going to have research. They'll be, somewhere between like 3 or 4 or 5 pages long. Yeah, and those are going to count for a big portion of the grade. So if you look at this, basically with journals, process writing, and participation, I have 45% of the grade is just those 3. And all of those are basically, the equivalent of showing up and, handing stuff in on time. So I think it is, fairly easy to get a good grade in this class as long as you put in some effort, try your best, and make sure you're handing stuff in. Yeah, so I think that's pretty fair. Okay, I think that's most of what I have for the syllabus. I just wanted to emphasize again, we don't need a book, and that's just some stuff about how I'm going to be doing the grade. All right, so I want to give you just a little bit of information about me, just so we can try to make this like as normal as possible with this semester. So this is like my fourth year teaching at Bergen. Um, I also teach at some other schools in the area. I teach at Union County College. I've taught in the past at Monmouth University. I went to St. John's University, which is in New York. Well, it's in Queens. I kind of went there, because I wanted to like go to the city for school, and then it's like in Queens, not really any closer to New York than I am now, where I live in Bloomfield. Um, yeah, so while I was there, I got a master's in English. I specialized in 20th century literature, plays and novels, and I also specialize in Marxist economic theory. So we are going to have some kind of like philosophical stuff going around in the back of this course. Some things that's sticking to me. A couple other things about myself. I am a big sports fan. I've been it's been tough getting some of this work done with all of these sports coming back at the same time for me. I've been up very late some nights. So I'm always watching, football, NBA playoff stuff like that. I also play a lot of video games. Um, so another thing that keeps me up all the time. And I also am a huge sports gambler, and always have bets going on. So that's me these days, like everybody else stuck at home. But that at least kind of lines up the things I like to do, sports, video games, stuff like that. So okay, I also want to talk a little bit just about kind of like my philosophy of like teaching, and I want to connect this to like why I really want to do these discussion boards and why I think they're important. So I think the usual like I think we've all experienced classes where kind of the teacher will just talk the whole time, or they'll show a PowerPoint or read off the slides or whatever, where like kind of the whole class is like them just trying to like give you the knowledge, and it's this kind of like theory of because every way that you teach it has a kind of theory to it about like how learning works and how education works. And I think people who teach that way, where the teacher just talks the whole time or they show a PowerPoint the whole time, I think kind of the implication there is that they're saying, like, I'm the teacher, I have all the information inside of my head, and what I'm going to do in this class is, try to give you this information, so that, and then you can regurgitate it out on the test. Um, I just don't really think that's how teaching or learning like really works or really happens. Um, I think that like we need to be much more hands-on in terms of learning how to do stuff. Like I always think about, if you were trying to teach someone like how to play baseball, what would you do? Would you sit down and explain to them what a double play is and how a sac fly works and all the rules of the game? Just tell them about it. No, you just give them a baseball, right? You just give them a bat, and then you learn to do it that way, right? I think that's. I think we learn better kind of like by trying things out and incorporating new things into what we already know. So for that reason, I do think that it's really important to like have the focus be on the students, and for all of you to really contribute things to the course. I think that learning is a much more like collaborative, like back and forth kind of thing than the teacher just like telling you the stuff. Um, I think that all of my students, have valuable things to say, and I want to hear from them, and I care about what they have to say. I don't necessarily think that I'm, the center of knowledge where I know everything and no one else knows anything. I'm not, I'm not that vain. I'm not that bad yet. So yeah, I really want these discussion threads. I really want you to take them seriously and put a lot of effort into them, because I think so much of the learning in a class, in all the classes that I've taught, comes from the students and what the students like, the questions that students are going to ask, the discussions that students are going to allow me to get into, and I so much of what I do is kind of playing off things that students say, and trying to help them like clarify their ideas, right? So I don't view myself as like telling you everything and then you just have to remember it. I try to view myself as more like trying to help you realize what you already think, and like give some pointers and guidance and stuff like that. So yeah, I really value these discussion boards, and I think they're going to be a big part of like if this course is like fun and interesting, I think a lot of it's going to have to do with what we all post on the discussion boards. So yeah, because this is what I think about education and learning, that's why I really want to run the class this way, where I'm trying to maintain as much back and forth between us, as I possibly can with this format. Okay, last thing I want to talk about here. So another thing with this new format, right, with this online format, so much of the motivation for this semester is going to fall on you guys. Um, maybe this is your first semester in college. Maybe it's not. Um, but like, obviously there's going to be nobody running after you, right? And I feel like usually like coming to class, like being in class, it always like brings to our mind like, oh, I want to do my work because I'm going to go to class and I have to see the professor and I don't, I want to make sure I have everything handed in and stuff. We don't have any of that this semester, right? So I think it's really on, I'll include myself in this. It's really on all of us to be self motivators, maybe even more than usual this semester, right? It's going to be like, I'm not going to know if you're watching these videos or if you're watching the whole thing. There's no real way for me to know that. It's going to be on you and how much like effort you want to put in to still get out of something and still get something out of this, even though it's kind of a tough situation here. But I will say that I think composition, even though it's a requirement and everyone hates having to take it and all that, I do think it is really important for a lot of your courses going forward, right? Because it's about writing itself. It's about writing a good essay. And all of your higher level courses, no matter what your major is, you're going to have to write a lot of essays. And some of them are going to be hard and some of them are going to be long. So I do think it's really important that we put in a lot of effort to try to develop these writing skills now, so that by the time you get to the higher level courses, you kind of already have the practice in and you're ready for it. So that's something that's really important to me, and I do think of the course as you know something to help you a lot as you move through college, try to get your degree, move on to a job, all that. So yeah, all I want to say is that I think we all need to be like self-consciously thinking about like how we're going to motivate ourselves, how we're going to stay motivated, because that's always an issue, right? And I think it's just so much more of an issue for this semester. I think it's going to be really important that we all find like a quiet place where we can do our work and watch the videos and do the discussions and all that. Um, and yeah, so I would just really encourage you to stay focused. Oh, and I think it's more important than ever that you all feel comfortable reaching out to me and emailing me if you're confused and you have questions, right? We're not in class every day, so you can't. There's so many times where students will just ask me a question like right before they leave or something, and I don't want us to lose that. So please email me. I'll be checking my email a lot, and I'll try to respond as fast as I can. But let's put in the work together and help each other out as much as we can. All right, so I hope the course makes a little more sense now. And yeah, I guess I will see you in my next video and also in the discussion threads. Okay, thanks.